Are cameras becoming obsolete? Well, it's a pretty stupid question, but unfortunately it has a point. Let me explain. Hi, it's Peter here. The images in the beginning were not photographs. I generated them with DALL-E 2, an AI image generator. And before we get into the meaning and talk about if cameras are becoming obsolete, let's look how easy it is to make this type of images. You just write down a descriptive text or words here, something that you want the image to be about and what's in it. The more descriptive the text is, the better the image is. It will generate you 4 images and then you can download them, or you can use one image as a starting point to a next one, so you can make variations of that image. And as we saw, the results are not perfect, but we have to remember that this is just the beginning and it's going to be very, very interesting. What does this all mean when you can generate images so easily? And first of all, stock photography will die for good. It's been struggling, of course, for many, many years because of the vast amount of images and the prices has gone down. So it's not a very good business model to be a stock photographer. But for some it might be, but for general photographers, I don't think it is. It used to be. I used to sell quite a bit of stock images way back. But now it's not worth having the effort of making all those images because the prices are so low. It's not a business anymore. And this type of AI generated images will kill it for good, because why would I go to a stock site and type this stuff on the search box and then browse through thousands and thousands of different type of images when I could just make DALL-E or similar AI generators make that image for me. It's much faster, much easier, and I can get the exact image that I want. And that's why I think stock photography will be just gone. And here I have an example of a classic stock photo, a smiling woman eating salad. And look at this result. Of course, it's not perfect, like I said, and especially faces are not the ones that are generated really well on DALL-E 2 yet. But the reason that the faces aren't that good is not because DALL-E couldn't do that. What I've heard is that the reason is that they don't want to make them too good because the misuse of this all is, of course, a concern, which I will talk a bit more later in this video. And the second meaning is that graphic design will change forever. Making a poster or album cover with DALL-E 2 is really easy. You can make the album cover whatever you want and without any need to get away from your computer. And the same thing with different type of posters. Of course, general images, if there has to be someone in the photograph, then of course you can make the scenery and then add the person into the image to make a composite. So you can make the whole surroundings with the DALL-E 2 and then add some people in the photograph, and it makes it a lot faster. Of course, that has been possible before, but you need to make that image also the background image with the different tools, photographing or painting or whatever. Now DALL-E 2 can make it for you in just a minute. And what does this mean to graphic designers? Well, their skills of painting, photographing will be obsolete, because the one that has the most creative way of making text, or that's a pretty funny way to say it, but the ones that can make descriptive text have the advantage. They will be the graphic designers in the future. Storyboards and image ideas are easier to create. Making a storyboard for a film or make a storyboard for a photo story is a lot easier with DALL-E type AI generators, or AI image generators, because you can just write what you want and then it will give you some ideas what to photograph. And also, this could work as an idea for a photographer that is making a image for a client. Let's say that the client wants something. They can just write it down to the DALL-E and you will get some ideas what the image could look in the advertisement, for example. And then you could make the image. But there is a catch on this. I'll talk about that later. But I think that's a really, really good use of this. And I think I will be using this if I get an assignment, and I will try to use DALL-E or Midjourney, which is another AI image generator, to get some ideas what the image could be. And I think there is the thing that I might use this for my own good. And then about the advertisement photography, it will change too, because some of the images, let's say the general images, like I showed the image of a woman eating salad, is something that you do not need to photograph. You can just make an image of that, and then some feel-good advertisement, which are not particular of a person. It might be some generic images like this one, which is people walking on a boardwalk having drinks or having soda. And this could have a text of or a logo or something. And because some of the advertisements are, of course, trying to influence or trying to manipulate your mind to make feel good. Drinking soda will make you feel good and good looking. And that's a type of image that why would you make a photograph of if you can do it with DALL-E 2 type AI image generators? What are your thoughts about all this? What do you think? Will you be using and testing it? At the moment, you need to apply for beta tester or whatever they call it, and it took me 2 weeks to get access to DALL-E 2. But there is another one called Midjourney, which will make a bit different results. And there is an access that is easier to get. So you might want to try that if you want to do it right away. I will put some links into the description of this video. But like I said, DALL-E 2 took me 2 weeks to get the access. And what are my thoughts? Like I already said, it will affect on stock photography. It actually will kill it. And then it will have an effect on advertisement. But for example, it won't have any effect on documentary photography because no AI can be there or make that image when the things are actually happening. They can make illustrative images of a similar situation, but it is not from that situation. But then there is the problem that if someone misuses this and make an image of, let's say, a riot and make it with AI and claims that it was taken there, then it's a problem. And of course, that's not a good thing. But in general, it won't replace documentary photography, for example, and in some parts it won't, do portrait photography either, because it's not a genuine photograph. It's just a AI-generated image, which has some uses, like I've already said. And then what's also not affected, the feeling of making an image. Because when you go out and photograph, it's a totally different thing. You observe things, you look around, and you make the photograph. The whole idea of making photographs, like photo walks and stuff, it's not just about the image. It's about being out there looking and learning new things and all that. It won't change that, of course. And I will link to Matti Sulanto's video. He had a very good point about this too. And there is a link in the description to his video, to that part where he was talking about this. And definitely I will play around with DALL-E 2 and Midjourney. And if there are going to be more of these, which I think there will in the future, I will play around with this and because it's a lot of fun in the start. But as I said, there are some scary things that it will affect on some photographers' work, and there might be some misuse of this. So we have to be really careful, and especially with the misuse and kind of like detect phony images if possible. Because the image quality will be better, and there might be a time that we cannot distinguish an AI-generated image from a real image. That might happen someday, because this is just a start, and the image quality will get better when it learns more and more all about and get more accurate results and people being using it. Because when you use it, it learns, of course. It will learn all the time. And here you can see the links that I mentioned in this video. It's a very interesting thing. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.